Alright, you all, welcome to this meditation level 1 class. For this practice today, we're going to focus on 3 of the 5 pillars of the mindfulness tradition. The 3 that we're going to focus on, or I'll say this, the 5 pillars are, in kind of like a basic mindfulness meditation, focusing on breath, a body scan, mental noting, gratitude, and love and kindness. But for this practice, we're just going to focus on the first 3. Again, breath, body scan, and mental noting. Let's go ahead and get started. So this is going to be a guided meditation. Go ahead and get comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes just to start, plug us in, guide us in. So go ahead and get yourself into a comfortable seated position, whether that's on a couch, on a chair, or sitting on the floor, a meditation cushion, or a yoga mat. So find a comfortable seat. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, and just shoulders down the back, nice and relaxed. We'll refocus on kind of like our alignment a little bit when we go to the body scan, part 2 of this guided meditation. So we'll come back to kind of our alignment and our seated position. But just most importantly, find some ease, again, in a comfortable seated position. Some might say the yoga term to use for this kind of seated position would be sukhasana. Sukhasana, easy seated. And let's go ahead and slowly begin with phase 1, or we'll say phase 1 or part 1, or the first pillar that we're focusing on, the breath. Let's go ahead and begin with the breath. Let's start out by just first focusing on just a nice, even inhale and exhale. Just a nice, even inhale, exhale. Really, phase 1 is just of creating that nice, even inhale, exhale. It's just putting your attention on the breath. Moving your focus away from your thoughts and putting it on the breath, and then putting in that conscious effort to make an even inhalation and exhalation. Think of it as a concentration exercise. In yoga, in the yogic science, you would say, this type of technique of focusing on the breath, focusing on an even inhalation, exhalation, you could say this is not only a pranayama, because it is a breath exercise, but it is also a concentration exercise, which is called dharana. So pranayama for breathing exercise, dharana for concentration exercise. And what we're doing right now is both. So let's just focus on that for a moment. Join with you on focusing on my nice inhale and exhale instead of just instructing. And we'll just add a couple of easy techniques for our Pillar 1, Phase 1, Part 1 of the breath for this guided meditation. So you're more than welcome to, we'll keep it like 3 or 4 options. Option 1, if it's the easiest, is just keeping your focus on the breath. Option 2 could be doing the exercise that we just started, where you just make a nice even inhalation, exhalation. Step 3 could be, as a concentration exercise, is just slow your exhale down as much as possible. Slow the inhale, but really slow the exhale. If you want to take that a step further, you could try to make your exhale twice as long as your inhale. So a lot of options, a lot of good basic beginner options for a pranayama exercise or dharana exercise. Focus on the breath, even breath, slowing your exhale down, or even trying to make your exhalation twice as long as your inhalation. And let's just breathe for a moment. And it's totally normal, I should say, disclaimer, totally normal if your mind starts to drift away into thought, starts to drift away from your chosen exercise and gets lost in a little bit of thought. Totally normal if that happens. Allow it to happen. You can just have the thought for a moment, right? Don't allow it to persist. Like, whatever we resist persists. So don't try to run away from it. Allow yourself to have it for a moment. That thought. But then just come back to the awareness of your breath. Come back to the awareness of your breath after you allow yourself to have that moment. Embrace that it's okay to have thoughts in a meditation practice. So we're still breathing, even breaths. Focus on the breath, or just a focus on the breath, or even breaths. Slowing down the breath or making that exhale twice as long. Just a gentle reminder. No one technique of those techniques is better than the other. Just breathing together, breathing together. Keep this on the shorter side. Let's take a few more breaths, focused breaths together before we move into pillar 2, our body scan. And then coming into the scan, let's bring our attention first to the very top of your head. Bring your attention to the crown of your head. Of course, with the eyes closed. Of course, the eyes closed. I should have said that in the beginning. Eyes closed. If you had your eyes open, it's okay, but go ahead and close the eyes if they already weren't. I hope they've been closed the whole time, but it's okay if they weren't. And I should say this, before we really again, we'll refocus on putting our concentration on the crown of the head. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Let's come back to what I said in the beginning, just coming back to our seat for a moment. And if you're in a cross-legged seated position, if you want to switch up the position of the legs, go ahead and do so. If you need to have a little fidget wiggle, go ahead and do so. If you need to change your position, go ahead and do so. But after you do that, let's sit up nice and tall for this body scan. Make sure your shoulders are down the back, away from your ears. Make sure that your neck is nice and long. You can have your chin slightly drop towards the chest to help with the neck being long. Eyes closed. And then let's bring our attention to the crown of the head. Here we go. Just have a couple breaths with your focus at the top of the head. Letting that focus come down to your forehead. Bring your attention, your awareness to your forehead. Notice if you're having some kind of slight frown or tension in the eyebrows or forehead. If there's a way for you to relax the forehead, go ahead and do so. That's kind of the point of this body scan, is to not only, the body scan brings our attention from the external, from our thoughts, and internalizes it more, helps it to focus more, or kind of invites it to the present moment more. But the body scan is also a nice way to relax the body. Let the body come into stillness, and that physical stillness also further invites the mind to ground to stillness. So letting the forehead relax, letting the brows relax. Make sure with your eyes closed that your eyes are still. Make sure the eyes aren't wandering. Try to focus them even with the eyes closed. Keep them still. You can imagine that the eyes are focused at the tip of your nose even with the lids closed. Make sure that your cheeks are relaxed, the muscles of your cheeks. Allow your tongue to come away from the roof of your mouth. Keep your mouth closed, your lips closed, but allow the teeth to separate, the jaw to relax. Bring your awareness towards our neck and shoulders. Make sure that your neck is relaxed. Your shoulders down the back, the chest slightly lifted. Let's take a couple breaths there. The crown of the head, facial muscles, neck and shoulders. Still, heavy, relaxed. Sitting breath, allowing life force to flow through the upper body. And then let's go ahead and bring our attention towards our right arm. Making sure the right arm is still. Again, a gentle reminder, if we still the body, even if it requires a little bit of force for a moment, a little bit of conscious effort to still the body, resist little fidgets and wiggles, itching, moving a little bit, a little anxiousness in the body, a little conscious effort to actually still your body, the mind will follow that mind-body connection. Mind-body connection. So if we still our physical body, the mind will come more into stillness. So right arm, right hand, right fingertips, perfectly still. If you start to feel a little tingling in the fingertips, that's totally normal. A little energy flowing through the hands and arms, totally normal. And to help us a little more like this little extra bonus of dharana concentration exercise, let's actually bring your attention towards your right hand resting on top of your right knee. That point of contact, that physical sensation of contact of right hand to right knee is a concentration exercise. Again, all of these little exercises of awareness, mindfulness, just withdrawing our mind more inward. So paying attention towards the physical sensation of the right hand laying on your right knee. If you have your hands rested on your knees, I'll give a couple options. If you have your hands resting on top of each other, one hand on top of the other, just imagine this physical sensation of the right hand resting on top of your left palm. If you have your hands in your lap with your fingers interlaced, just pay attention towards the physical contact of your fingers interlaced. If your fingers are not interlaced, bring your awareness towards the space in between your fingertips. I know it's a little funny to say pay attention to the space in between your fingertips, but it actually is doable with your eyes closed. Visualize the space between your fingertips as you feel the awareness of your fingertips. This might increase an energetic flow in your right palm, either with the right palm resting up, facing up, or resting down. Let's go ahead and bring our attention towards our left arm, left bicep, tricep, forearm. Bring it to stillness, avoiding any fidgeting, itching, a little conscious effort to be still. Left hand, still, fingertips, heavy, relaxed. Take a breath, even for myself. Just then, as I breathe, I felt myself consciously allow my hands to just physically relax more, get heavier resting on the knees. And then same exercise, same dharana exercise, let's go ahead and bring your attention towards the physical sensation of your left hand resting on your knee or lap or underneath your right hand, or again, fingers interlaced. Bring your attention towards your hands clasped. Both arms, both hands resting heavy. Right leg, right knee, right calf, right foot, right toes. Still. Left leg, left knee, left calf, left foot, left toes. Space in between the toes. Bring your attention towards third dharana exercise, to your feet. Whether you're seated on a couch, seated in a chair, seated on the ground. Your legs could even be extended out if you're sitting on the ground. However you're sitting, bring your attention towards your feet and bring your attention towards your feet making physical contact with the ground beneath you. Third dharana, physical exercise, concentration technique in our body scan. Let's combine the breath with the body scan. Bring your attention back towards your breath, and let's all just focus on making our breath just slower. Slowing down the breath. If you feel there are any parts of the body that you can relax. For example, I could feel I could relax my shoulders deeper down my back. A couple more moments just breathing, attention to the physical body. Further internalizing, take a couple breaths. And then let's go into our final phase of this meditation. Let's go into the mental noting part of this practice. So for the mental noting part of this practice, there's a few options, and we'll just go through them. So all mental noting is, for example, if a thought comes up, you'll just put your attention on the thought. Maybe have the thought for a moment. I kind of almost touched base on this at the beginning of this meditation. So if leaving the breath, leaving the body scan, coming deeper into stillness, if any thoughts start to come up, have the thought. And then very quickly, I want you to just repeat this in your mind, thinking or thought. Have the thought, but then go into the step of taking the mental note, which is just you can note in your mind thinking, or I'm having a thought. So again, as we go deeper into stillness, moving away from the first two phases, if a thought starts to come up, have the thought, and then start the mental noting exercise. Just note that you're having a thought. Your mantra or your, it really is kind of almost a mantra, but it's you could say mental note or mantra. It really is a mental note, I guess. Mental note / mantra. When a thought comes up, it could be thought. Just repeat in your mind, thought. Or I'm thinking. So as we move deeper into stillness, if a thought comes up, thinking, start to note it, thinking. I'm having a thought. A thought. Let's just breathe with that for a moment. Or very similar, I'll say a few other options, because it could be a thought. It could also be an emotion. So if an emotion starts to come up, very similarly, note what the emotion is, and you can just repeat feeling. Or I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling blissful. I'm feeling gratitude. I'm feeling joy. Or I'm feeling sadness. Or just feeling. You could say, repeat in your mind, feeling. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling happy. Or if you hear something, smell something, taste something, I'm hearing, I'm smelling. Just take any type of mental note, whether it's a thought, a feeling, something that you're hearing from the external, a distraction, just note it. Let's breathe with that for a moment. If, as we go deeper, any of those things come up and you do the mental noting process, after whether it's I'm thinking, thought, I'm feeling, I'm hearing, I'm smelling, I'm feeling, maybe the wind brushes your skin, I'm feeling this sensation, whatever it is, after you note it, you're present with it. Bring your attention to the breath. That's kind of the final cap of this mental noting exercise. Note whatever comes up. And then come back to the breath. And let's just do that for a few moments, for a few good moments. means to come up, and coming back to the breath, just for a few more breaths. Noting whatever comes up, coming back to your breath, coming back to the present moment. Now to come out of this practice together, let's go ahead, let's come back to a nice even inhale, exhale. Start to wiggle your toes and your fingers as you breathe. And we're going to do two things. Well, to close this practice out, we'll bring our hands to our heart and have a little namaskar moment. But then we're going to go ahead, we're going to bring our hands to our face. You'll see it. We're going to do a little technique not to shock the eyes with the lights. We'll namaskar and then do that. So let's go ahead, bring your hands to a prayer position of the heart. You can drop your chin down a little bit further. It's kind of like a physical act of reverence and gratitude for the practice that we've had today, the time that we've shared today together. And we'll close out with Namaste, the light within me honors the light within you. And then keeping your eyes closed as we honor each other's light, go ahead and bring your hands, the palms of your hands, to cover your eyes. And then when you're ready, you're going to open your eyes to the palms of your hands. You're going to open the eyes to the palms of your hands, blink your eyes, take in a tiny little bit of light that's coming in. And then very slowly, keeping your eyes focused at the palms of your hands, you're going to bring the palms of your hands away from your face. We're going to come back to reality, back to our external, and I'm looking forward to see you guys for another practice.